So have you guys ever wondered that how you can create your own custom AI agent that can perform pen testing tasks for you? It can be subdomain enumeration, it can be finding vulnerabilities and all sort of things. If you are wondering about how you can do all of these things, then this video is for you because in this video, I want to show you that how we can actually create a custom AI agent automation using n8n that can help you to achieve or automate a lot of stuff for your bug bounty, for your pen testing, or whatever you're trying to do in cybersecurity. For example, we are going to build this XSS agent that I have just created. Let me show you how it's going to work. So we'll simply go ahead and click on execute flow. Okay, here we are. You can see it is asking me for to enter the URL. We'll give it that http testphp.oneweb.com. We'll give it like this. Click on submit. Form has been submitted. We go here. You see everything started. I've just given it the input, the URL, and it's now automatically the XSS agent is automatically trying to find a cross-site scripting vulnerability. And you see everything is completed over here. And if we go all the way up here, you can see that in our Discord, we have successfully got the vulnerability and it has given us the steps to actually reproduce this vulnerability. So here it is, here's the payload that it has tried, and here's the result, right? So stay tuned because in this video, we'll go ahead and exactly create this kind of automation. But as always, before diving deep into this video, if you haven't checked out my previous video, then go ahead and check it out. The link is given in the description, as well as you can see it at the right side of the screen. And now, with that being said, let us get started. Okay, so the very first thing that you need to do first, a cloud virtual private server. Okay, and for that, we're going to use Hostinger in this particular video. And the reason is that it provides direct integration to n8n. So you just need to get the VPS, you need to just, click on a button and n8n will automatically get configured into your machine, okay, into your VPS. And the second thing is the pricing. So let me just go ahead and show you guys. So if you go to n8n VPS, you can clearly see that the prices that they are on is actually very cheap compared to all the other, cloud platforms provider. So you can see that for KVM2 for 8.99 US dollar, we'll be getting like 8 GB of RAM, 100 GB of disk space, and 8 GB of bandwidth, which is more than enough for our use case. So we'll simply go ahead and click on this one. And an interesting thing is that if you go ahead and use this coupon, which is Be Practical Tech, you'll get about 10% of additional discount, right? So let me just show you. So you're simply going to click on this have a coupon code. Just type Be Practical Tech like this, click on apply, wait for a few seconds, and you can see now the price is 299.13 US dollars, which means that it is now even 10% more cheaper, right? So you can clearly see we have got discount for 21.5, right? So if you're interested, go ahead and check it out. Use this coupon code. And trust me, this is the best cloud platform that you'll use, to automate a lot of cool stuff. So if you don't have cloud VPS already, go ahead and check out this one. And now let's go back and try to understand that once we have Hostinger, how we're going to go ahead and integrate n8n into our VPS. Okay, so as you can see, we are at the dashboard right now, and I have already configured my VPS, but I'm going to show you again that how you can actually configure it. So it's actually very simple. So we'll just try to go to settings here. Okay, we'll go to operating system and panels. And here we are just going to reinstall the application. So you can see under change OS, we have to go to applications. And here we are going to select N8N. It's as simple as that. So when you're going to configure your VPS for the very first time, you will be given the option to, select your operating system which you want to use. So you need to go to the application section. Don't install any plain operating system because then you need to configure N8N manually. So you can simply go to the application tab there and you can simply go ahead and select the N8N option. Okay. Then click on this change OS option. Install OS in your case. Click on confirm. We'll be just giving the password and then just confirm it. And here it is. The application, as you can see, the operating system is getting reinstalled. So I'll get back to you once we have n8n configured. Okay, so as you can see, n8n has been successfully installed. Once it is installed on your VPS, what you need to do is simply go ahead and click on this manage app. That is pretty much it. And you see we have n8n successfully up and running. So we'll simply go ahead and create the account as soon as possible. We'll just fill it up real quick and let's click on next and we'll just fill this up as well. Let's skip it for now. And here we are. So this is exactly how you need to create or configure n8n onto your machine. Okay. So once we have n8n installed, the next thing that we like to do is we like to create a workflow. Okay, so we'll click on this start from scratch. We'll go here, click on this. So the first step is to take input from the user, okay, like which website we're going to test, right? So that is the first step. So we'll go ahead and click on this. And here in this section, we're going to select or search for form. Form, here it is, the N10 form. We're going to click this and we're going to click here. Okay, and as you can see here, we have the form. We don't want authentication, and we'll in the form title, we'll say that the XSS scanner, because that's what we'll be creating, and we'll add a form element. And the label will be enter the URL. It's a text, and we'll simply go ahead and exit out of it. It's as simple as that. You can see here we have our very first trigger created. So we can go ahead and try to execute this workflow. And you can see it is asking for the URL. We'll try to give testphp.vulnerweb.com. Click on submit. And as you can see, the form has been submitted successfully. And if we go here, we click on this, we can see that here is the URL that we have actually submitted, right? So the second thing is that once we have the input from the user, what is the next thing that we want to do? And the next thing is that we want to pass this particular user input, pass this URL into an AI agent that is going to then take the user input and then going to try and find cross-site scripting vulnerabilities, right? This is what we are going to do. So then we have to click on this plus button again. And here we are going to click on this AI, you can see, and we'll click on this AI agent. Just like this. And then the very first thing that you need to do is go here. We'll remove this. I mean, we have testphp.vulnerable.com here. We'll simply go ahead and drag this to here, define below. Yes, we need to define it below, and then we'll simply add the URL. So this is like the user message. And then we have to give the system prompt, right? We'll go to system message, and here we are going to type that you are a cybersecurity expert who knows how to find cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. The application that we are testing is a lab meant to be vulnerable. Attempt to find a cross-site scripting vulnerability. Then give us a report of it, and we'll say that the maximum word will be somewhere around 250. Okay, and this is pretty much it. This is the system prompt that we're going to use. And now we'll just close this from here, and this is our AI agent. Let's try to go ahead and change this name. So we'll go here, click on rename, XSS AI agent, something like that. We'll click on rename. And now there are two main things that we need to do. We need to, select the brain of this AI agent, so which LLM is going to use. And then we are going to select the tools. What are the tools that it can use? Okay, so these are two things that we're going to configure right now. The first thing is that the brain, right? And for this particular demonstration, I'm going to use OpenAI GPT, okay? Because, this is just for demonstration, and we're going to go to OpenAI. We'll search for OpenAI here, and then we are going to provide the credential, right? So what we need to do is we need to create an API key for OpenAI. Also, one important thing is that you can also configure this tool with local LLMs. For example, if we close this and if we go to here and search Olama, you can see we have the option for Olama chat models, so which is going to run locally onto your machine. Okay, so maybe I'm going to cover more about this in the future videos. But for now, let us go ahead and stick with OpenAI. Okay, because it is much easier to configure for now. Okay, but yeah, you need to get the API keys, and for which you need to pay or load some credits into your OpenAI's account. So we'll go ahead and click on this create new credentials, and we're going to quickly go ahead and create a new secret key. So we'll say that YouTube video, create secret key here. There it is. Let's copy this, and we will be pasting it right over here. And click on save. Okay. And as you can see, the credential has been successfully added. Now we have the credential. What we need to do is we need to close this from here, and then we're going to select the model. Okay. And we are going to choose, let's try to go ahead and select O3 mini. Okay. Because I believe it's going to work very well with this. And now let's close it out. And we have the OpenAI model successfully configured. Okay. So first thing is completed. The second thing is to configure the tool. Right. And this is actually very interesting, because once you have the model, you need to provide access to the model to execute some kind of tool. For example, it need to send requests to the server, it need to analyze the response and all those things. And for that, it should have access to some tools, right? And over here, we are going to use something known as MCP servers, which is known as Model Context Protocol, that basically allows AI models to call to sitting on a remote server on this particular VPS, and then we are going to call it from there. Okay, so let's click on tools, and here we'll go ahead and select this MCP client tool like this. And here we need to specify the endpoint in which our MCP server is up and running. So let's go ahead and quickly configure the MCP server. Okay, so right now you can see that I'm on my server and I have created this very simple MCP server. Let me just show you what exactly it is doing. So basically it is doing nothing but just, exposing this server, which allows the LLM to execute any kind of shell command. Okay. So using this particular MCP server, the LLM can execute any type of shell command. And basically we want it to execute curl commands and all those commands that are necessary for this test. We're not going to allow it to, execute dangerous commands like, for example, cat/etc/password and all those things. But I have not added any restriction to that because I mean, this is just for the demonstration purpose, right? And I have also attached the link of this particular MCP server into the description. So you can go ahead and check it out as well. So once you have this MCP server, what you need to do is that we'll go inside a tmux session and we'll type node server.js just like this. And you can see here we are, and here the server is up and running, right, on port 3000. Then we'll just exit out of it. We'll copy the IP address from here. And now we're going to type HTTP IP address with the port 3000. And let's try to execute it. And let's see whether we are getting connected successfully. Okay, we're getting some issues. Let's select this server-side events, execute it. Okay, just give me a second. We'll go ahead and type MCP here and execute it. And you can see we have successfully got access to the execute command. So all the command is going to execute onto my server, right? So we'll just go ahead and try to execute one command to verify whether it is working or not. We'll type OMI, execute the step, and you can see it is working fine. Now, again, this is just for the demonstration. So if you're going to expose this particular MCP tool onto LLM, there's a chance that your system might get broken, because it doesn't have any restrictions at all, meaning that we can execute any command onto the server. Okay. So just do it at your own risk, or maybe you can add some filter to prevent these kind of issues. Okay. So we have MCP client configured successfully. We're going to add a memory so that we can keep track of everything. We'll find it. Let's close this out. We have the simple memory created. We have OpenAI created. So we have pretty much everything that we actually want, right? We can now go ahead and simply try to run this tool. But before that also, I would like to update my system prompt. So we'll go to XSS AI agent and we'll also mention that you have access to execute command tool, but make sure not to call any dangerous/malicious commands. Okay. And here we'll also mention about what this tool can do, which can execute system commands. Just like this. We can now close this out and hopefully this should work. So we'll go ahead and verify it. So we have the application here. We'll go and click on this execute workflow. Okay, let's see how it works. Here we are. Here you need to paste a URL, click on submit. Now automatically everything is working. Okay, so we've got some error in the simple memory. Let's quickly fix this. Key parameter from AI. Okay, thing. We'll just drag it like this, or we can just connect the chat trigger mode maybe. Let's see. Let's try to execute the workflow again. HTTP testphp.vulnerable.com. Submit this out. Okay, again we're getting some errors. Let me quickly add any random value here. I think that will solve our issue. So we'll go and from AI from mapping, we'll just add this key. Okay, close this out. Let's try to execute it. Let's just hope it works this time. Testphp.vulnerable.com. Testphp.vulnerable.com. Yes, working fine. And as you can see here, it has started executing. So right now it is reasoning and the workflow has been executed, and we can go here and we can see the output. Okay, we've got the output, but the thing is I can confirm that our tool, our workflow has not called the MCP client. We are not seeing anything over here, right? So we'll just modify the system prompt. This attempt to find SSS vulnerability. We'll just mention that make sure to call the tools and find and execute the necessary steps/tool calls before reaching to a conclusion. Yes. And we'll just close this again. Let's try to execute the workflow. Let's go ahead and type testphp.vulnerable.com. Submit this here. It's raising itself. Let's hope that it will. Okay, you can see this time it has called the tool MCP client. It went back and it is trying to like call the tools back and forth. So it is, kind of working autonomously, and it is taking all those, necessary steps that are required to find the XSS vulnerability. Okay. And you can see the workflow has been successfully executed. Let's go to swap memory and we will see what we have got. Okay. We have the chat history 0, chat history 1, response metadata. Okay. Nothing here. Okay, we'll do one more thing to actually visualize what we have got. We'll just try to finally link this with Discord webhook, okay? So that we can get the message getting sent to us onto our Discord channels. We'll just click on plus. Here we're going to add Discord, and here we are going to select webhook. Sorry, Discord, and we'll go ahead and click on this send a message. Okay, and now we'll select the connection type to webhook, right? And then we'll create a new credential here, and we're going to provide the webhook URL. Okay, so here you can see I have the access to this particular Discord server that I have created in 2023. We'll go to settings, we'll go to integration. We have this one webhook. I'm going to copy the webhook URL from here and we'll paste the URL directly here. Okay. Now we have webhook configured. So if everything works, we should be able to see the vulnerability, the output of this AI agent directly on our Discord. So let's see how it goes. We click on execute workflow. We'll go ahead and type http test.php.vulnerab.com. Click on submit. Form has been submitted. Let's go back to the workflow. You can see it's executing, it's calling the tools. Let's see whether we'll get something or not. Okay, swap memory is deactivated. Let me see why it is deactivated. From AI, let's click on activated. Let's try to execute this back again. http test.php.vulnerab.com. Let's go back here. Swap memory is working. Okay, we're getting message that cannot send an empty message. Let's try to go and see what happens. And yes, we actually need to track this whole thing up to my message. Yes, and now I think we will be good to go. Okay, and I'm going to also modify the agent that make sure to mention the steps to reproduce section of how you have discovered this vulnerability. Hope this works. Let's close everything up, execute the workflow again. Let's go test.php.vulnerab.com, submit the request. Okay, and as you can see, this time it didn't actually call the MCP tool, but this time it was able to send the message to Discord. Let's see what it has sent. And you can see it has successfully generated the report. Now, you may be wondering that how it is generating the report if it hasn't called the MCP tool. And the reason is, that these models are already trained on varieties of subjects on the internet, right? That also includes all the public labs that are accessible, right? So it already knows how to find the vulnerability. That's why it decided not to call any tool, right? But if we mention it again, or maybe if we use a different model, it will call the tool again. So let's try to add this line again. We'll just say that again, make sure to call the tools before reaching to any conclusion. Sometimes you need to do this, or you can also like copy this prompt and give it to ChatGPT to get a more refined prompt and then use it right over here, and it will work just as good as this one. In fact, better than this one. So we'll just do all this. We can close this now. Maybe let's try to change the model as well. Let's try to go ahead and use GPT-4. Let's see how it will work. And now let's try to go and click on execute workflow. Let's give http test.php.vulnerab.com again, and it has started. OpenAI here, so tool calling is working as well. And I think this time we'll be able to complete this workflow without any issues. Okay, and as you can see, the workflows have been successfully executed. And if we go here, you can see that we've got another message. Okay, and you see this is what it says. So based on the output from execute command tools, this is how it has found the vulnerability. So you can execute, insert the script into the category parameter, and then the server responded with the with the response containing the malicious script, and the XSS was successfully executed. Right now, also notice that the output is very different. The both outputs are very different, and it's obviously because of the model. Right. I always say that in AI-based applications, we are creating something on top of very smart intelligence. Okay, so this is how you can use n10 to automate the workflow. I mean, this was just for the demonstration that how you can get a very simple AI agent that can find XSS for you guys. Obviously, we can go ahead and chain it with a lot of things. There are a lot of cool things that we can do. For example, creating a whole workflow from reconnaissance to finding vulnerability all autonomously. Or you can just you just need to give it the URL. It's going to do everything for you, right? So go ahead and try it out. Go ahead and use n10 on Hostinger and let me know what are the tools that you have created. Also, if you guys have any doubts, any issues, feel free to let me know your doubts or issues in the comment section. And now with that being said, keep learning, keep hacking, and thank you so much for watching this video.